Hey guys, welcome to this video on applying scales properly. This is one of the key elements I found in students that they say, well, I learned the scales, I can't play good lines. They tell me, here are the pitches, this is the mode, and then play a good solo. What's up with that? So in this video, I prepared a little demo and a few exercises that will implement straight up on a form to the song You Stepped Out of a Dream. It's a great one, it's square, it's 32 bars, and there's a bunch of scales to be applied, and you will see in this video how we can go beyond just trying to implement basic arpeggios, right? Some of you guys might have done that. You see a C major, good, all right, gotta play the notes. C, E, G, B, that's it, and then move on to the next chord and do this analysis. This is true, but if you want to develop a horn-like line, so like more bebop things with passing tones and chromaticism, sorry, and use altered scales, then this is the kind of stuff that you gotta be doing, which is learning scales and placing them in 8 notes and making sure they're implemented on the song. Alright, so the first issue that we're looking at is, of course, the issue of scale switching. People would say, wow, I listened to this Coltrane record, no way this guy is mentally scale switching to every chord, and he was. Okay, this is what jazz musicians do. It's super scary, but it can be done. And the way that I was able to achieve it for myself and with students is naturally to make the task switching as simple as possible. Because I'll go back to my song. This is a tune that you may or may not be familiar with, but there are a lot of chords. And if I don't have something for instant recall that I can really apply the scales I work on, I'm not going to be able to task switch. So what do? We simply build a single scale on each of the 3 following qualities: major, minor, and dominant. That's it. That's the recipe. So let me go full screen and share with you the secret sauce for doing this. Number 1, I want a major scale. It can be any shape. I recommend starting on the 5th or 4th string. So say with a C, I'll go, and I will learn my scales up to the 7th. So count, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is the advantage of being placed in the bar exactly in the same place as you would for your arpeggios, meaning your strong chord tones right on the beats. All right, now that we have that, we need one for minor and we need one for dominant. So what I recommend is find one fingering that works for you. I'll recommend mine. Let's look at the form again. I think the first chord we have that is minor is a B flat minor. It is this guy. Okay. So this guy, I will use my pinky and start with the B flat note here, and I will play B flat Dorian. So right? This interesting visual illusion with the lighting on my guitar fretboard. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we get 1, 2, and a flat 3, 5. And what I recommend is you could have either starting on the 4th string or the 5th string. Remember, guys, let's keep things simple. Some of you, most of you will say, right, I got this, now I have to learn it in every position, everywhere. No, you don't. Pick one place. I'm going to repeat this. Pick one place. Okay, stick with me. You don't need to make this more complicated than it is. What we need to do is actually apply this to the song. That's going to yield tremendously more benefits than if you just try to run and do the technical thing before playing a song. My approach is song-centric, guys, and it works, right? Third type of chord, we want a dominant, so let me seek the form. I think here the dominant is this first dominant chord, all right? So this guy, I will play a straight-up mixolydian. So I go, which is 1 note away from the major scale. Equipped with that, if I have a scale shape that is movable for the major, the minor, and the dominant, I can run through the entire form, and I will do this right now with you out of time, all right? So you know exactly which song you're supposed to, which scale you're supposed to play at that moment in the song. And don't worry if you don't have my exact same fingerings. Find something that's comfortable, that allows you to instantly apply and implement. We're lucky, guys. Think about it. Piano players need to scratch their head knowing what scale that is. We just go, C? C major? Yeah. Okay, cool. D flat, perfect. Move the hand. We're so lucky because we don't actually need to know exactly all the names of the notes that we're playing, although we can and should down the line, but that's a great tip. So C major, I'm just going to play the scale, ascending and descending. Try to play along if you can. Good job. And D flat. Good. B flat Dorian. E flat mixo. A flat major. I'll start on the 4th string here. So far so good? Alright. So what I recommend you do now is place, quote unquote, each of the scales like this on your fretboard. For it's maybe another song. Guys, you can do all the things you are if you want. You can do any standard that you already know. And make sure that these scales are there. They're available at your fingertips. All right. And I'll give you the tips. So this is G Dorian. This is C mixo. So minor, dominant, major. It's another 2-5-1, guys. So this is the same formula as this. So notice if I did these, I can simply go 3 frets down and do these. They're the same. But they're relatively the same from one another. Cool. Same thing here. I go half step down from this and I do the same. Now here's the hiccup. When we encounter these chords, what we will do, and we'll just remove the minor 2. We'll just look at the 5. So it's a 2-5 sequence. And when in doubt, typically look at the last chord. So here I'll play A flat mixolydian. Here I'll play G mixolydian. So A flat mixo and G mixo, and we're done for that part. Now let's keep going the form. Same as here. Same as here. Same. Here's a pickle. There's 2 scales that you'll need to sort of learn that are different from major, minor, mixo if you want to implement scales properly. So this one you will do a good old G flat mixolydian, normal, like just a dominant. But you go raise 4. 1, 2, 3, sharp 4. How do you remember this? This is a C note. So the song is in C. So the thing is we're getting a G flat, but we're still remaining close to C. So we make sure we have that tone. So that one is different. That one is just a half step down the regular mixo. That one is the pickle. And that is just regular stuff. So Dorian, mixo, Dorian, mixo. Here we could do, like, this is too fast to play scale, so we could just do arpeggios of 8 notes. So C, C ascending, A flat, A natural dominant ascending, D, D minor, G. So the good old arpeggios are really well known that you've mapped out in your fingerboard. Just do that at that point. Good. Okay. Now, what do we do with this one? So here's my recommendation. Grab D Dorian. Right? And you will do 2 things to it. You'll look at the 5th and 6th degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you'll lower those by half step. Okay? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, that's identical. Flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. Don't tell anyone, but the secret is this is actually F melodic minor, starting on a D note. So D, E, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. A flat, B flat, C. All right. Now, what's your job? Now we have done all of this. So if you bear with me for a moment, we understood that we need to task switch. So we need to change scale at every time there's a chord. And now we're not even talking about making the changes, proper resolution, voice leading. We're not even talking about making meaningful statements and nice solos. We're just talking about being harmonically correct when it comes to the scale that's coming by and finding a method that's simple. So we determined that, and we decided that we wanted to have a really, really simple system. What's the system? Major, minor, dominant. That's it. What's the system? Go up to the 7th of the scale. Do not try to learn this in every position. Say, I need to do it from every string, from every starting finger, in every key, because my teacher said, like, okay, if you did that and it worked for you, that's awesome. It never worked for me. And I encounter students that have that believe it is the way to do it, and it's a dead end. So don't do it. If it hasn't worked, don't do it. Don't insist on doing it. All right? Do it in one place, 1 or 2 place. If you're like, I like my A here and I like the A here. Okay, I'll give you that, not a problem. But make sure that under your fingers, you have one way you can do that scale from the 1st degree to the 7th degree. Now we're going to go in implementation. So in implementation, I will do the steps with you, for you in the video. So feel free to stop, rewind, watch me. Feel free to do this on another song, and by the way, submit this to our beautiful Jazz Guitar Fellowship, free forever. It's a group of now 2,400 really cool up-and-coming jazz guitarists, and there's tons of free training. Get to hang out with me and the team, and you can submit videos, and it's free. So you may go, hey guys, I'm doing Round Midnight. Is this the right scale? Shoot your videos. That's awesome. Free of charge. Link in description. So I will do the implementation step with you in this video. So what I'll go through is basically 8-note scales, as I just described. So I will go slowly, and you'll see my fingers on camera. I will do it at a tempo of falling asleep, which will be 100. And I will do a training. So the training, I'm just going to find it. Practice tempo. All right. So the first round is going to be 100 BPM. The second round is going to be 116. Third round is going to be 132. And the first round is just going to be the scale. Second round is just going to be the scale. Third round, I'm improvising within the scale. So I see that a lot of you guys have orphaned or abandoned the concept of scales for jazz guitar because saying that's a sax thing, that's a trumpet thing, or a scale piano thing. I did not get the result. I know the notes, I know the scales, but I can't make music. I'll just tell you, this is the beginning of making music, okay? You play the scales in 8 notes in real time on the form. It's super song-centric, and that will inform your jazz improv in the future. For sure, when you improvise, you can still use your arpeggios and other modes. You can use the licks that you've learned. You can use your blues licks for all I care. It doesn't matter. But this is the start of really, truly making an effort in your jazz improv on the scale side. This is more advanced. So just for the record, what I love to do with my students, I have a coaching program. It's called the Catalyst. If you're interested, basically what we do in the Catalyst is learn 5 songs really, really well within 6 months. So if you're interested, see the link in the description for that. There's a video in which I describe the system. Know that what we're about to do now together is a bit beyond that. It's what I call my step 7 on the improv, which means now you're at a point where you want to implement scales and arpeggios, etc. If you don't have that down, I recommend that you start with, link here, staple chords, that you implement them on the conveyor belt. You make sure you can play a solid chord melody. You make sure that you can make the changes before doing altered scales and all crazy stuff. So just, you've been warned that this is more of an advanced step. If you hit your head against the wall on this one, it means you got to go back to previous steps of mine for work on standards. All right, demo time. Off we go. 8-note scales. Watch out. Faster. Improv. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed the demo, and please do let me know if you have any questions about this in the description below. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. There's hundreds of free videos for standards, comping, and improv. Again, if there's anything, I'm Mark from Jazz Guitar Lessons. It's been a pleasure doing this with you and for you today. And just remember, this may look super easy, in which case, man, keep browsing. There's more. There's way more. This is the tip of the iceberg. At the same time, this may seem a bit overwhelming. If you're watching this going like, whoa, I can't really do this, set it up as a milestone. This could be a 3-month or 6-month goal, but know that your playing will be completely transformed if you did that. If you do and did that super well over a handful of standards, the ones that you love. Could be Have You Met Miss Jones, could be Body and Soul, could be Blue Bossa, Solar, could be old songs, new song, Wayne Shorter stuff, whatever. If you took that approach and really, really segmented the work, your playing would be transformed. Instead of being in a zone like, my solos suck, I can't play. It's like, yeah, well, you don't have the vocabulary yet. So maybe if I'm learning Spanish, which I don't speak Spanish, I'm French, right? But if I did learn to speak Spanish before I try to learn Spanish poetry and go watch theater in Spanish and play on words, maybe I should first ask how to use the bathroom and order coffee, right? So that's preliminary steps in using more evolved jazz vocabulary. It's not rocket science. People use the chord scale approach, they use modes and go, well, there's a mode for each of the chord, which makes sense. But then how do we make lines? How do we do the stuff? Like, that's the stuff for another video, which you'll find here or here. I'll see you soon on the channel and on jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher. Take care. Thanks, guys.